Other interesting cultural news, you have Joy Reid that is furious that DOGE is causing transparency. Heaven forbid Elon takes a mask off what government is wasting our money on. Which, spoiler, seems like damn near everything. And then some. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, which she says, quote, Trump derangement syndrome, Elon derangement syndrome, Doge derangement syndrome. Joy Reid has severely infected with all of them, which perhaps is one of the most ironic names I've heard of in a couple decades. Joy Reid, the most joyless person on the internet, or I don't know, she's on MSNBC, so on the tube, which I guess I am the only person I know who has a tube TV, but I partially digress. Maybe Libs of TikTok is being too bombastic. Maybe Joy Reid will make some very articulate, very intelligent cases and statements, and she'll blow our minds. Probably not, but we'll dive on in.
But we begin tonight with a full-on crisis in our democracy.
Oh no.
As federal workers are literally locked out of their offices while operatives working for a private citizen essentially take over our government. Their tactics include turning off our federal websites, deleting government-funded research that you, the taxpayer, paid for to impose speech codes.
Oh, speech codes. Oh, you mean like deleting all the censorship and all the made-up terms that they've come up past couple years?
Bullying news organizations by demanding interview transcripts.
Yeah, because Kamala Harris is one of the biggest cover-ups of all time. Maybe we'll go over they actually released a 60-minute interview. And yeah, she fumbles over her words and stutters more than me, which is saying something. So yeah, it'd be nice if we had transparency where we could actually see, oh dear God, we dodged that big of a bullet. Yeah.
Implementing an FBI purge, locking federal workers out of their computers, and even turning them away at their offices while giving themselves, without congressional or any other authorization, full access to the personal data
Trump?
Of tens of millions of Americans.
Personal data. Not sure she's not of high intellect, but yeah, if you're a government employee, anything you do on that computer, spoiler alert, that's not your data. You generate data on the government's network, on the government's laptops. Very similar to corporate America. Again, that's why I always tell people the email stands for evidence. Be careful what you say or send. But yeah, everything you do on a corporate laptop, that's their intellectual property. That's their stuff. It's not you. You're not entitled to privacy on it.
Including Social Security recipients, FBI agents and officials, military and government contractors, and every single employee of the federal government. All of that data in private hands that you did not authorize, even if you voted for Donald Trump. This as Trump installs unqualified minions at the heads of every federal agency.
Unqualified. Never forget, Democrats installed someone to lead the HHS who was a biological man who believed he was a woman. That was who they chose for a qualified health professional. That's one of a myriad of blunders that they made. Yeah. Or like California, who they elected people who didn't realize you needed water to put out fires. They literally ran out of water during the fire. Yeah. Which side chooses people who are not qualified? Joyless Reid?
They wouldn't stop this even if they knew how.
Well, let me rewind that really quick.
Every federal agency, knowing that they wouldn't stop this even if they knew how. At least when he's not threatening multiple trade wars or vowing to launch a new age of American imperialism by colonizing the indigenous people of Greenland.
Indigenous people of Greenland? What? She makes it sound like they've never had society there, the indigenous people of Greenland. Yeah, spoiler, they kind of want to get out of the current situation they're in because the government is pretty oppressive.
Vowing to launch a new age of American imperialism by colonizing the indigenous people of Greenland and the Panama Canal. All while congressional Democrats...
America Canal! I mean, yet another ineptitudes of Jimmy Carter. Again, I do appreciate Jimmy Carter and the fact that he did Habitat for Humanity, so he built houses when he retired. He did good in that regard, but perhaps one of the worst presidents of history, the only one perhaps worse, debatably, Joe Biden's still worse, but yeah, the American people, we paid for the Panama Canal, and then Jimmy Carter decided to give it away? Ridiculous. So you're going to rename it to the American Canal, the best, the greatest, the biggest.
Democrats issue strongly worded letters, plus holding a press conference today, and congressional Republicans sit back and let the federal government they work for collapse all around them, while they occasionally beg Trump for tariff mercy for their states. If this were happening in any other country right now, I promise you, I'd be on the air calling it a coup. This was the scene today at the United States Agency for International Development, better known as USAID.
Better known as the biggest money laundering BS on the planet.
Where protests erupted after workers were ordered by email, if they could even access their emails, to not report to the office and to work from home instead, despite the so-called DOGE directives just a week ago that all workers must work from the office 5 days a week. A group of Senate and House Democrats were blocked from even entering the agency's headquarters in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, spoiler alert, we're finding out how much money they laundered. A lot of it was immoral, to say the least, and basically just a giant psyop. Yeah, spoiler alert, the government paid all the biggest mainstream media to do what they wanted to do. Which, again, Joy Reid should be furious about that. Anyone morally or moral intelligent would be, but of course she isn't. Now this went moderately viral, about 400,000 views and 15,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from AKA simply saying, quote, she needs to go find the Trump Derangement Syndrome Center that Rob Reiner is attending. Getting 176 likes. I forgot that guy was still around. Libercat Media TM says, quote, Elon Derangement Syndrome is real. It's a guy freaking out on the floor getting 38 likes. Paul Zupa says Joy Reid has TED syndrome getting 30 likes. Jeff D. Bishop says, quote, the disease is real. And it's Joyless Reid sitting in a wheelchair looking sicker than usual. Getting 34 likes. Obviously, it's an AI image. Embarrassed to be Human has a picture of Joyless Reid in a straitjacket, getting 9 likes. AI again. Let's see here. Carol Wingarter says, quote, if Trump rescued a child drowning in the sea, liberals would accuse him of starving the sharks. Getting 101 likes, which, yeah. Yeah, the big picture saying, oh, I have to update this meme now. Or meme. It says the real pandemics. It has a picture of a girl with about half of the, no, 3/4 of the Walmart hair dye products on her head and blue lipstick. As youth might say, I believe that is sus. And it says woke mind virus. You have the famous gal who broke down and cried like a child during the 2016 election and says Trump derangement syndrome. Then you have the creepy guy who would steal women's lingerie and clothing from airports who somehow had access codes to U.S. nuclear stuff. Well, that person is labeled gender dysphoria. And then you got Harry Sisson is labeled as low testosterone, getting 38 likes, which, fact check, yeah, true. You also have Debbie saying, quote, crisis in our democracy. The people overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Fact check, true. Both the popular vote as well as the electoral college. He's doing exactly what he ran to get voted on. That's democracy, getting 31 likes. Yep. Proud American also says, wait until she sees this picture. And Trump famously signing the executive order banning men from competing in women's sports. And all the girls around him giving him accolades are very happy. Very unusual to see a president with all those young girls around him who's not sniffing them or grabbing them creepily. That's a first in like 4 years. That also got 118 likes. Let's see. Lane says, quote, U.S. government vessels can now transit the Panama Canal without charge fees, saving the U.S. government millions of dollars per year. Which, yeah, we should never have been paid those to begin with. And it says the Panama Canal, the government of Panama has agreed to no longer charge fees for the U.S. government vessels to transit the Panama Canal. This saves the U.S. government millions of dollars per year, getting 16 likes, which, again, we built the damn thing and guard half the world with our military. You'd think we should get some discounts and perks. Seemingly we don't. We seem to give more money to every other country on the planet than actual money to, help U.S. citizens, but I partially digress. You also have the state of debate saying, quote, she can't stand Trump, Musk, or Doge. Too bad for her. They're all winning, getting 10 likes. Yep. Fight with memes, A+ for marketing. They did in fact respond in meme form. Says, quote, she's just mad because she's going to lose her political funding. Yeah. It says, Joy Reid is so upset she's refused to wear her Trump wig. Getting 187 likes, which, yeah, it's kind of suspicious. She hates Trump so much, and yet that wig looks suspiciously like Donald Trump's wig. I'm sure he would say, before her hair was the best, the greatest, the golden glory, almost as good as me, in fact, some might say. I'm pretty sure Trump probably said that about her. Also have Fight with Memes saying, quote, they can shut down every federal worker in the country out of their office indefinitely, and nothing of value would be lost, getting 77 likes, which, yeah, it is funny how every time there's a federal government shutdown, I can't think of a single person I know anecdotally through our friend circles and groups that has ever been negatively affected in any way. You also have 21 million saying, quote, Trump was impeached twice. How did they already let him win again? Getting 6 likes. So perhaps a contrarian statement. I had to scroll quite some time. Was this Chansu Benyon? Says, quote, here's the red-pilled version of Joy Reid on The View with Trump hair. Getting 3 likes. Oh, let's see. We'll do one more. Viral Architect says, quote, cry harder, commie. And as it says, the life cycle of a Democrat. And it's just a baby, and it says, it's just labeled baby, teen, adult. And it's all 3 pictures of baby crying, getting 13 likes. Which, yeah, I mean, in terms of productivity from the country, imagine how many man hours are lost because leftists cry like children when they're really technically legally adults. I mean, it's not an insignificant amount of time that they're not working, even more than usual, where they're just sitting and crying after, and, putting that on the TikTok. I mean, how many hours? I mean, that very well might contribute to a significant portion of GDP. I'm kidding. Most of them don't have jobs, but I'm only partially jesting. We'll see if she ever, I mean, let me know. Are you really irate that this is happening in terms of, more DOGE transparency? And yeah, of all those federal employees, how many of them do you think actually help the average American out? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.